Hello and welcome to this next episode of our Fat Loss in 15 series. So today we're going to do something a wee bit different. We're at a time of year where people want results but they're not really sure what to do. They think there's maybe not enough time between now and the end of the year, not enough time between now and Christmas to get started. So what we're going to run through today, and I'm not going to bore you with all the usual count calories, count macros, all that sort of stuff. You can find that information anywhere. We're going to talk about the 3 unusual steps to lasting results. You see, because most people think results come from working harder, from more workouts, from more restriction, from more discipline. But the truth is, it is not the big dramatic efforts that stick. It is the small strategic systems that remove risk, that reduce friction, and they make it feel like you're actually moving forward. The consistency is inevitable. So today we're going to break down the 3 unusual steps, as I said, that will help you do that between now and the end of the year. And if you are enjoying it, please make sure to subscribe. I'm trying my hardest to get these out every week, and we are growing ever so slowly. But please, if you are enjoying them, give it a follow, share it to a friend that might benefit from my ramblings, and it would mean a lot to me. And I'm really enjoying this process and just allowing myself just to speak and just let essentially everything come out of my brain and hopefully help you guys as we do it. So step number 1, and that is de-risking the process. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They're failing because the process feels too risky. They've tried before, they've put their time, they've put the energy, they've put in their hard-earned cash, and it doesn't work. And it now feels that every time that they restart, that they're gambling with their confidence. And what I always like to say is at Club 300, our main goal is to de-risk the process for you, to make it simple, to make it easy to follow, and to make it enjoyable. And when you've got those 3 things, staying consistent for long enough to see the results you're looking for becomes a whole lot less stressful, and it feels a whole lot less risky. And I bet if you're hearing that, it sounds maybe a little bit too good to be true, but it's something that we see time and time again with clients who have gone through this exact same struggle. So here is what I would like you to do if you want to try and de-risk yourself before now and the end of the year. Number 1, list your top 3 stress points, the common ones that are kind of holding you back. Your lack of time, your lack of knowledge around food, or maybe your food confusion, and maybe your anxiety around going to the gym. What things are holding you back the most? Just list them out. For example, I was on a call yesterday with somebody, and they said they're really consistent with the gym. They're good at getting themselves there. They'll have good weeks and then they'll have bad weeks. And he said it all came down to the amount of conflicting information there is out in social media, and it kept him second guessing himself. So what I'd like you to do is write down the top 3 things that are holding you back, and then number them on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful they are for you and how much you feel like they are getting in the way. 10 means that you have no idea what you're doing, and it is actually maybe giving you some anxiety thinking about actually trying that. And that might be every time you've gone to the gym, you've got there, you've frozen, you've been like a deer in headlights, and you've not been able to do everything. You've maybe walked on the treadmill for 10 minutes, then you've left. And that's just not a nice experience for anyone, but it's an experience that I hear a lot. It's an experience I hear occurs all the time. So what I want to do is then score them out of 1 to 10, 1 not too stressful, 10 super stressful. And then after each one, we're going to do what we call creating a safety net for each one. So if you feel like you just don't have the time to do your sessions, how can we solve that? We have shorter sessions. Instead of aiming for an hour and 15, a 30-minute, 45-minute session is more than doable. Everyone's got 30 minutes to 45 minutes spare in their day. The reason they don't do it is because they don't think they have the time, but you do. Sorry, just for the weird cut, I just had a message come through on my laptop there that completely threw me off. I didn't have my laptop on Do Not Disturb, which I do now. So where were we? We need to create a safety net for each one. So shorten time, you literally just shorten your sessions. 30 minutes, 45 minutes of something intense focused workout is better than nothing at all. It's way better. I mean, you don't actually need hour-long sessions. I don't do hour-long sessions. 45 minutes is enough time. Number 2, if your food is around stress, have your fallback meals. Have some meals that you know you really like, that are simple to make, that fit all the criteria. They're high in protein, they're good, clean, one ingredient meals. or single ingredient foods in your meal, sorry. And just have those fallback meals so you don't need to think the stress, the decision making is taken out of it. Or, for example, if you don't like going to the gym, you find it anxious, you're not sure what you're doing, have a coach. Go to some group coaching sessions. Go somewhere where you don't need to think about what you're going to do. You go in, somebody shows you exactly what to do. They take you through it. They make sure your form's right. They make sure you're safe, and they make you feel comfortable in the gym. And that is what our coaching system actually does. We have short sessions or 45-minute sessions so you can fit them in. We have a flexible timetable so you can always fit them in no matter how busy your schedule. We show you how to set up your meal plan and have these fallback meals. And every time you come in, you get coached so you can come in and you can de-stress from the day. You don't need to think about what you're doing. And when you've got this lack of obstacles, these lack of speed bumps, when it's been de-risked for you, it's so much easier to be consistent for long enough to see the results you're looking for. And I'm not saying this from my perspective, I'm just repeating to you what our clients have said to us about how it can de-risk the process, because you're not having to think, you're not having to depend on your own willpower, you're not having to depend on your own discipline. You've got somebody in your corner making it easy for you. Okay, so that's step number one. You've got your action points there. Step number two, and that is to use the minimum dose method. So everyone always talks about doing more, but what people don't talk about is doing less, but doing less better. And this is something that we again use here at Club 300, and that is doing the least amount of effort to get the desired result, and then layer from there. Because when you start small and you win often, you build momentum, and when you've got momentum, you don't need to rely on motivation, because you have this positive spiral taking you up the way. So here's one simple way for you to incorporate that between now and the end of the year. For the next 2 weeks, I want you to focus on one area and one area only. This could be your training, this could be your diet, or this could be your lifestyle habits. So, for example, if your goal is training, instead of trying to hit 5 sessions where you're super erratic, 1 week you hit 1 session, 1 week you hit 6, the next week you hit 2, and then you hit 3, then you hit none, and then you're all over the place. Aim for 3 consistent sessions. It takes the pressure away. You've got those 3 dedicated sessions that you're just focused on going to improve and putting your all into those sessions and get the most out of it. Okay, if it's nutrition, our goal would be to maybe eat protein with every single meal, a good healthy 40 to 50 grams of protein with every meal. That's your sole focus. If it's lifestyle, you maybe work on your sleep schedule. You maybe reduce the amount of caffeine you're having. You're maybe focusing on the amount of step count you're having. You just pick one thing and you focus on it. And after 14 days, you review how that has gone. Has it gone well? Amazing, layer on an extra one. If it hasn't gone well, why didn't it go so well? And how can you improve that for the next 2 weeks? So it's a great way to just layering on all the habits that lead to lasting results without actually burning out. Because the difference between those who lose the 10 pounds within the first 30 days and then those who put it back on compared to those who keep it off and lose more over the first 90, is the ability to avoid burnout. And people burn out because they try and do too much too quickly. So you focus on one thing. When you've mastered that, you layer on another, and when you've mastered the 2, you layer on another, because after a while, once you master them, they just become part of your life. And actually, the way I like to say it is a typical restrictive fad diet tries to take your good days from being good to great, which takes a lot of effort. By focusing on the behaviours and the habits, what we're doing is bringing your bad days up to being a good day, which takes a hell of a lot less effort, but it makes a bigger impact. Yes, it might take a bit longer, but it means that it's possible to do it without burnout, and it means it's going to lead to lasting results without it feeling like it's overwhelming your life. Okay, so step 1, de-risk it. Step 2, use the minimum dose method. And step 3, build your busy week protocol. Working out when life's not that busy, focusing on your diet when life's not that busy, focus on your habits when life's not that busy is easy. The problem comes when life does get busy, and it will get busy. Something will happen at work. There might be a day where you get stuck in traffic. You might get unwell, or a family member get unwell. You might just have a really stressful week where there's lots going on. And when you're in that all or nothing mindset, when this happens, you get thrown off, and then 6 months go by and you're back at square one. And that is due to that mindset and not having this busy week protocol. And it's always better to have something to rely on, have your minimum baselines, than to have nothing to rely on. Okay, so here's how we do it. You create your bare minimum week, and this could be you do 3 sessions this week instead of your usual 4 or 5. You can't make it to the gym, so you do home workouts instead. You would normally do 10k steps, but you don't have the time, so you drop it down to 8. You have your 3 non-negotiables. You're focusing on your protein, you're focusing on your steps, you're focusing on your sleep. Just having these bare minimums means that when you have that stressful week, you know what you need to focus on, and it's not the whole lot that you would normally do, but it just gives you something to anchor yourself to. And it just means when life quietens down the next week, you can get back on plan, and it doesn't feel like you're restarting every single time. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is making the plan before you need it. You always want to be proactive, not reactive. Reactive to stuff doesn't work, and it leads to this sensation of guilt. Okay, and then number 3, have a win ugly mindset. A messy week on plan, or nearly on plan, is better than perfect weeks sporadically on. If you can have a 70%, 80% week every single week, having these ugly weeks, but repeating them over a long period of time, you're going to get way better results than having a perfect week sporadically. And as I say again, it's better than having that mindset of having to restart all the time, because that is draining, and you don't want to be drained all the time. It's just not a nice place to be. Okay, so that is the 3 steps. You've got to de-risk it for yourself, you've got to use the minimum dose, and number 3, you've got to build that busy week protocol. And this leads me on to the final wee thing that I'm just going to give you 2 little bonus tips right here, and we've spoken about this one a lot. I just think it's so important. And number 1, that is creating your sacrifice list, creating that list of things that you're absolutely not willing to give up to achieve your goals. And once you've got this list, you can manage your expectations so that you know exactly how quick your progress is going to be. The shorter the list, the quicker your results. The longer your list, the slower your results. And this list can change depending on the time of year. We're running up to Christmas. The list might be a bit longer. You've got a lot of social events on. So just understand and manage your expectations, that there's things that you're not wanting to give up, so your progress is going to be slower. Get your expectations in the right place, and the guilt will not come. Number 2, the sliding scale of progress. It is not all or nothing. Progress is going to be quick at times when your sacrifice list is small. Progress is going to be slow at times when your sacrifice list is long. And every phase of life is going to have a different gear. Every phase of the year is going to have a different gear. The mistake that most people make is thinking that progress is going to be linear and that every phase is going to look the same. And when you understand this and you stop comparing different phases of the year, different phases in your life, you're able to adapt, you're able to stay guilt-free, and you're able to make the progress you're looking for. So, in summary, lasting results are not about intensity. They're about creating a structure that sticks for you. You can de-risk the process so it makes it feel safe and simple. You apply the minimum dose. Doing less, better for longer is what leads to lasting results. And you want to build your busy week protocol, because you've got to protect consistency when life hits you hard, when life throws you a curveball. And finally, you've got to accept your sacrifices and your pace that you're going to get results. Both of these are your choices, and you are in control. Lasting results don't come from being perfect. They come from being prepared and from adapting when life gets messy. Hopefully this helped you today, guys. I really actually enjoyed that one. And if you was delving into the deeper layers of what it actually takes to get fat loss results, and again, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, give us a follow. It means a lot to me. And if something resonated deeply with you, please let me know. I'd love to hear. These do take quite a bit of planning, quite a bit of time recording and uploading, so it would mean a lot if you could reach out or even just drop a wee like. Have a nice day, guys. I'll speak to you next week.